Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Claudine.
Today we're talking about the new reporting requirements for cash transactions in Miami and New York, some of the glaring holes and some of the traps.
That's right. This is involving one of our favorite government agencies, FinCEN, which stands for the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And this is who's in charge of assessing FBAR penalties on foreign accounts, except the IRS is actually in charge now. But they get the information, but the IRS administers it. And it's a long, convoluted story. But FinCEN is somebody that we're dealing with on a basis. And they come from the Bank Secrecy Act of 1970 for all the Bank Secrecy Act of reporting suspicious cash transactions because someone deposited $3,000 5 days in a row and they own a pizza place. Imagine that. Anyway, FinCEN, this is sort of where they're going is they're trying to, find criminals around the world and stop them and cut their financing power, their purchasing power so that they can be whatever.
Yep. Now, they had a press release January, and I believe this was effective in March. The press release, FinCEN takes aim at real estate secrecy in Manhattan and Miami. Geographic targeting orders requires identification for high-end cash buyers. It's effective March 1st, 2016. What it's doing is it's temporarily requiring certain U.S. title insurance companies to identify the person behind companies used to pay all cash for high-end residential real estate. The first glaring hole.
So just don't get title insurance.
There's no requirement for title insurance.
No, you don't have to. If you're paying all cash, when you're buying something mortgage, your mortgage is going to require you to get title insurance. That's just the way it is. You're not going to get the loan without it. But if you're paying all cash and, if you can imagine, well, I have a lot of money. I kind of need to unload it and I want to run it through the system. Well, title insurance is a wonderful tool, but you don't need to get it. There's no requirement. So there it is. You've just avoided it entirely. And, you are paying cash. You are an international criminal. You're probably somebody that, if somebody crosses you, there's certain actions you would take a normal person wouldn't take. Extrajudicial actions, I would suppose.
Now, there's targeted areas. Right now, this is affecting only Dade County in Miami and also Manhattan.
That's right.
So what happens is your information, including a copy of your passport or driver's license, are reported to FinCEN, and then it will be made available to law enforcement investigators as part of their database. So now, why? FinCEN thinks that all cash purchases may be conducted by people that want to hide assets in their identity. So they think this is a way to catch them.
Yeah. And did we discuss that cash doesn't mean cash?
Well, yeah, cashier's checks, sometimes referred to as a bank check, official check, or treasurer's check, or a certified check. So if you use any of those, then you'll be reported.
Right.
So glaring hole number 2 is...
just do a wire or a personal bank check.
Yeah.
And I guess if you give them, actual pallets of cash for whatever you're doing, then it's Form 8300, but it doesn't go to FinCEN.
Right.
It goes to the IRS, not FinCEN. Okay. So, yeah, there's kind of glaring holes. And Manhattan was like, and then there's Manhattan. Well, there's a lot of high-end places around Manhattan. I'm thinking of Fairfield County, Westchester County. Some nice neighborhoods around there that are in the millions of dollars that you could easily stash. So, just don't buy Manhattan and don't buy in Miami and don't do this.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, and then there's actually some more. There's actually some more requirements that property designed for the occupancy of from 1 to 4 families.
Okay, I'm going to buy a property that is for 5 families or non-residential.
Right. The attorney, typically the closing attorney, is an agent for the title insurance. So who's really responsible is the closing attorney for the buyer. So here, I used to do real estate closings years ago, and I got out of it because all it was busy work. There was nothing. There was nothing to do. What you end up getting is, and people have gone through closings. They know the deal. You get a stack of papers. And if you want to get those papers back to the bank in time for you to get financing, you're just going to sign it as quick as you can. You don't have time to reread this and review it. Like, what are my rights under, Fair Lending Act? No, you're just going to sign it. And, here's one more stupid thing for a closing attorney to have to do. And I think that's really our point. This is not going to do anything. They pass regulations. There's hyper regulation where you think you're going to stop. You really think this is going to do anybody any good? I mean, we already know that the FBARs go off to FinCEN. They don't even look at them. Nobody even knows.
No.
They barely look at them. They're just, we want it though. just to have somewhere in a warehouse just because.
But it could potentially negatively affect someone who sincerely just wants to pay cash.
Yeah, because they have cash. That's how they do business.
Right. So your example is, sometimes at a closing, there's unexpected expenses.
All the time.
An oil tank.
Yep.
$3,000.
Yep.
So you go and you get a bank check.
Yep.
And now, even though you paid with a personal check,
right,
this $3,000 is going to change the transaction.
Yeah. That's one little, talk about a nasty trick. And, when they pass these regulations, no one is putting themselves in the position of the closing attorney. You have, every closing, and this was the thing, it's like every closing seems like it's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. There's one thing that gets in the way, and, you have emotions you're trying to deal with. You're just, basically that's what you're doing. You're doing a triage of emotions just to say, okay, have a thick skin. It will go okay. It will be okay. And what you don't have is a whole bunch of extra energy to look for things for traps like this. Mm-hmm. You simply don't have it. And so that the requirement is that if you have any part of this transaction is considered cash, which isn't really cash, but is actually the certified checks, no matter what the percentage of it is, makes it one of these things you need to make sure you get the actual owner of it, which is somewhat hard to tell. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly how you do that. If somebody has a side deal that's not recorded in the land records or ever recorded anywhere, I don't know how you actually would know.
Right. So that's glaring hole number 4, I think.
Right.
They want the beneficial owners, not the nominees.
Yeah.
So
there's ways to,
do a private contract.
There it is. Okay.
My name's not on it.
My name's not on it.
Yeah.
And, the way criminal syndicates work is that a lot of times they don't have contracts, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I don't think Pablo Escobar actually ever wrote, I don't know. Maybe we'll find it somewhere. Maybe that will be, here it is.
Yep.
Things are done based on a trust and a mutual cooperation. And so, in these networks, if somebody burns somebody, you better have your escape plan, make sure that's enough.
Yep.
So I don't see how so you're going to require this attorney to, hey, wait a second, someone's paying with a bank check, and this is a property that's 1 to 4 people. This is Miami-Dade. This is or Manhattan, and so I need to make sure I get a passport or license of this person who's actually the real owner, who I'm not sure if they are, and now I have to make sure I send it out to FinCEN, who's going to do nothing with it, pretty much. Yeah. They really need to know that.
And there's nothing in this press release about any sort of penalties. So I don't know if that would eventually happen. They're saying this is a test, and it's going to expire August 27th of 2016. But do we really think this will expire, or is this going to be a new nationwide program?
Yeah, there's really, well, here's the thing. This is where I'd say the one thing that that's going against this regulations. Let's just be honest and say a lot of people like the fact that there's a lot of foreign money invested in U.S. real estate. Mm-hmm. The reason why we're having Southern California, Miami, these incredibly hot markets in New York is because this large influx of foreign cash. They start making things a little difficult. There's going to be a contingency to say, hey, what are you doing here? You're killing our price.
What lobby is going to step up?
Yeah, so that's where I'm going to say there's going to be some sort of lobby probably going to say, hey, you know what? Some crimes are okay. This is not what we're listing. Why don't you get them on the other end? Don't get them here.
Yep.
Let's just assume everything's on the up and up. So I am somewhat hopeful that this is just a test that I think, and also the real estate closing attorneys, this is a trap for them. And the title insurance is a really powerful lobbies. So I think you're just creating something that's not going to really benefit a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But we've been wrong before.
We have. We'll have to on August 28th.
FATCA benefits nobody, but it's passed into law. And the FBARs really don't do much for any crime enforcement at all. Yep. They just really trip up people who've made innocent or negligent mistakes for the most part.
Right. All right. So August 28th, I'm going to make a note on my calendar to do a new video with an update on what's happening with this new stupid law.
Regulation.
Regulation.
Right.
Thank you.
Because I don't even know where the law is. And the law is a press release. Right. Here it is. Excellent.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. You can like and comment below. You can also subscribe to our channel for more awesome tax updates. Thanks for watching. IRS Medic, the law offices of Parent LLP, real tax attorneys for tough tax problems.